So, it was really nice to hear about the work that Kautilya School of Public Policy is doing. And I think I would personally recommend this school to all the public policy enthusiasts. I would personally recommend this to all the Moolya Foundation followers because we have so many public policy enthusiasts who are looking for getting proper education and they're very skeptical where to apply, how to go about it. And I think this conversation of us is going to be really helpful to them. So I would like to end this beautiful conversation of so many interesting insights with one last question. And this question is inclined towards the skill that is required in this era of digitalization. You focused on how you give the liberty to students to choose the skills that they would want to learn in the 2 years MPP program. You mentioned that having high skilled candidates is very important. In fact, whenever I speak to the youngsters out there, they always point out that whenever they apply for jobs in this industry, one is that you already have the name of your college of a degree in your resume, but the employers are focusing on the skills that you have apart from your degree, right? And these skills are drastically changing because things have changed. Fundamentally, the way we operate as humans when it comes to jobs have changed. So according to you, what are the skill sets that the youngsters should focus on now?
Well, I'll say this in a very a simple way. Firstly, don't go settle down for a job that pays you a good fat salary. You need to be hungry, you need to be foolish for you to ask those real questions of saying that what's happening in the country around me? What's happening to the world around me? It's very important we ask those questions.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the big fat salary at the end of the month is the biggest addiction that all of us fall into.
Yeah.
And only when you step out, right, by the time you realize it's very too late, right? You need to kind of have a very, very critical thinking of what's happening around you. That's important, right? You need to get a sense of law of the nation. No matter what kind of a role that you perform in the future, you need to have a smell of economics that's driving your sector. You need to get a hang of technology that is relevant for your own sector and industry. Right? You need to have an ethical pointer of resolving dilemmas that will emerge in your career. You need to be able to communicate your thoughts in effective writing and also in everyday conversation. Right?
Yeah.
You should be aware of your own cues that you give out in your non-verbal communication. You may think that, oh, I didn't say this, but the other person took it as something else. And why did that happen? That's because of your non-verbal communication. How can you become an effective leader, right? So these are essential skills that you need to get into, right? When I went and studied consumer behavior, and I was not necessarily a marketing-oriented guy, but I realized that there is so much that goes into understanding human psyche, positioning whatever he wants, understanding what he wants, and then delivering him what he wants, right? And at many points of my life, while growing up in my career, these things helped, right? It helped us to understand that there are different target audiences needing different things, right?
Yeah.
So it's essential that we look at the world around us and have a respect for people beyond our own discipline. Only when you have respect for people who are beyond your own discipline, you can lead multidisciplinary teams.
Yeah.
And when you lead multidisciplinary teams is when you can solve complex problems in your own sector. Otherwise, you're only going to keep solving linear problems, but not necessarily complex problems.
Yeah.
Right? Innovation like iPhone is not just making the fastest computer. It's not about fastest chip. But if it's about kind of deeply understanding consumer psyche and then kind of trying to say, how can I make it possible in such a small miniature device? In the last 15 years, this device has changed so much that today having this and using this well can actually make or break your own productivity to a large extent.
Yeah.
how do you look at the changing world? How do you create your own self-resilience and adaptive strategies and leapfrog ahead? Right? So this is what I would say that every student has to have in his mind. Then you go back and come into specific asks, right? Like for in the not-for-profit world, you need to be able to understand what are the challenges in advocacy. How do I fundraise? Right? What are these sustainable development goals? What is this HDI? How do I measure it? How do I compute it? Those are all the set of skills that you would need for the not-for-profit world. In the for-profit world, how do I look at business environment? How do you do risk analysis? How do you look at future mapping? Right? How do you understand a better sense of public-private partnerships? Right? How do I look at even making sure that my sector, I am able to build allies for in my sector and beyond my sector? And how do you have a ecosystems thinking? Right? In the government, I think everything that O.P. Agarwal said is very important, right? If you aspire to be an IAS officer, I mean, good luck to you if you crack the IAS, pathway. But even if you don't, there are plethora of opportunities coming out in the government sector today. Yeah. The joint secretary level jobs that are opening up for people around in the 40-45 years age, or even Niti Aayog, who wants consultants to come in and help them understand complex problems, or different state governments running their fellowships. The Delhi Development Fellows are probably paid a very handsome salary as compared to many of the government sector openings in the past. Right? There is a plethora of opportunities coming in there. Even if you are on a career path to IAS, a course like Masters in Public Policy will put you in the right stead, because you will understand what is the overall governance change that you need to bring in your own sphere of working to be able to be a successful bureaucrat.
Absolutely.
So if you look at our advisory board as well as our faculty, we have people from all these walks of life who have done that, been there, and are able to now, and who have chosen to come back and engage with our students. Many of them are not teaching anywhere else in India or in the world. Right? They are saying, okay, Sridhar, what you guys are doing is very important. We are like the vision of Kautilya, and hence we would like to come and teach. Right? The courses are brand new in many cases. So engage, do that extra reading, and say, which are the set of courses that you would like to read. So all the applicants, my request is trouble the academic team as much as possible, the admissions team as much as possible when you're signing up for Kautilya, and make sure that you make your choice earlier on and kind of proceed on your journey right from now itself.
Yeah. So that's a very, that was like a wonderful conclusion to the entire conversation. And that is very critical when you say that skill development is important. And students today will have to focus way beyond the course that they're doing, because there are thousands of graduates who are having a degree. What makes you different is an additional skill that you have. And as a development communications professional, I cannot help but emphasize that having non-verbal communication is very important today, because most of our conversations have moved non-verbal. Your email is what you are. So it is very important to invest your time in learning how to be an expert in communicating when you're not, with each other face to face. And having said this, I would like to thank you, Mr. Sridhar, again for your time for this amazing session. I personally took away so many important insights and understood how Kautilya is contributing to this amazing journey. And Moolya Foundation will be more than happy to help you with anything that is required. And again, to put it out, I personally recommend you to apply to Kautilya School of Public Policy if you're looking for a degree in this in India. Thank you so much, Mr. Sridhar.
Thank you, Neha. It's been a delight speaking to you. Thank you for those wonderful questions. It made me think and reflect on some of the things that happened 15 years ago. And I'm going to reread O.P. Agarwal's article again now. It kind of brought me in so many interesting things that I need to recapture. Thank you. And thank you for all the help. We look forward to many of Moolya Foundation members to come apply with us. Do reach out to me in case you need any assistance in this process. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you.